This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Nalini. I'll go. I think Raghu might be busy. Hey, this is Nalini. I'm into IM Space trying to evaluate the tool and see how we can progress and what all we can do with it. So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, great. I think yes, I don't know your first name. Sorry. Yeah,
Mm,
please go ahead. Is it ST? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you. Yeah, please go ahead. No worries. I think we can go ahead. Maybe it seems some audio issues. So let me share my screen. I think you can see my screen, right? Yeah. So let's understand what is identity and access management, and then we will come to Savient. So identity is nothing but a corporate user. So identity management is nothing but managing a corporate user. So that means when a new joiner joins to the organization, give his access, and when he stay in the organization and he moves to across the companies, across the departments, and he changed his skill and he got promoted, maintain that data. When he leaves the organization, pull back all the access. So this is what IAM does. It does of a life cycle management of user access. So identity is equal to a corporate user, a corporate IT resource. Most of the time we will refer as a corporate user, and I mean sometimes we can refer it as refer that as a printer, a server, a corporate a device, anything. Also we can make it as an identity. So managing the devices and corporate user together, we can call it as managing and corporate. Corporate IT resource is nothing but IAM. So manager. So if a person or a tool who does CRUD operations, that means create, read, update, and delete. Whoever does this, if a person does, he'll be called manager. If a tool does, still we can call that as a manager. So assume a bank manager. What he does, he recruit bank employees. He'll maintain the bank, and if someone gets a new opportunity, suppose he's a bank manager for ICICI, and then he got a better job, some employee got a better job, and he will let them go. I mean, he'll terminate them. So a manager is the core meaning of manager. Management is nothing but performing CRUD operations. So identity management. So identity management in the sense a corporate user's access is managed in the organization. So IAM again it is split into identity management and access management. So identity management meaning if a new joiner joins, providing his access management, it will talk a core of a single sign-on federation. So and we have some more things inside IAM. So that is called privileged account manager, PAM. CyberArk is a tool which is widely used in the market. On top of that, there are governance modules, certification modules. So there are many things. So Savient is comes under IAM. So if I take a generic example of a vehicle will be categorized as two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler. So two-wheeler, TVS is a organization who makes TVS Victor, Honda who creates Honda Activa, three-wheeler Bajaj makes Bajaj Auto, and if it is a four-wheeler, it's a Volkswagen Tizen. So, and if it is one more company from Tata, it's Tata Safari. So, if you see the hierarchy and apply here, identity and access management is a generic term. So, this term has got sub modules. Those are called identity management. That means managing user access. Access management is talks about single sign-on, federation, and it's more or less like authentication and authorization. So this is a core concept of access management. PAM, privileged account management. So this is also managing non-physical accounts like privileged or elevated accounts, managing their passwords. So that's going to deal with the PAM. So under ITM, there are many companies. So for example, SailPoint is an organization, so they made their identity product named as SailPoint IIQ, Identity IQ. They'll say that's the product name. I mean, assume here they took the concept of two-wheeler and TVS company released their product as TVS Victor. Honda, they released as Honda Active. The same way, Oracle organization gave that Oracle Identity Manager, and there are many Ping Federate, IBM, Okta also doing some IDM products, but that's not doing much great in the market. But still, they are there in the market. And ForgeRock and CA Identity Manager, there are like almost like 17 to 18 different IDM vendors are there in the market. They are competing each other, and it's going like that. So out of that, Savient is one of the organizations. So Savient company name is Savient, and the product name is Savient SSM. They'll call Savient Security Manager. So Savient, we will refer to Savient SSM or IGA tool. These are the terminologies used in the Savient documentation, that is referred as EIC, Enterprise Identity Cloud. So it's a different name used in a different context. But at the end of the day, it's a Savient only. On access management front, Okta is doing great, and Ping Federate and ISAM, IBM product. So those are capturing the market. For any single sign-on implementation, nowadays you are keep hearing Okta. Okta is very good in the market. Privileged account manager, CyberArk, and BeyondTrust. These are the. I mean, I just quoted a few companies here, but the list goes very big. But our core interest for this demo is Savient, because we are going to discuss about IDM and Savient product. But I want you to understand what is the context and where are we now. So where it will come. So when you join an organization, Savient alone will not exist. That means SailPoint will not alone exist. OEM will not alone exist. So an IDM space, one product. AM space, one product. PAM space, one product. Some company may not use PAM, but these two things will be there. So you joined as a Savient developer, still you see some single sign-on integration, some you keep hearing all these products. And these are some other products. But just to correlate that entire ecosystem of IAM, I'm just quoting that example. Any doubts on this? I'll take this silence as no. Let me go back to the another slide. Okay.
So guys, please speak up if you have any doubts, so that it will be more interactive.
Sure.
Hi Sweta, are you able to hear us?
I can hear you, but I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah,
we can
we are
hear
able
you.
to hear you. You can ask.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So you don't have any questions, right?
Actually, I have a quick question. On a high level, can you pinpoint why is Savient preferred over SailPoint?
Yes, I am coming to that. So I'm going to discuss here. But do you have any questions on the previous slide?
No.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so if I have to tell SailPoint and Savient versus, so I heard with one of the Savient sales guy, currently Savient has 210 customers. 200 test clients are already migrated to Savient. The number is keep counting. I mean, it's going on. So, but if you see Savient when it came to the market, Savient came to the market in 2016, but nobody cared for that. So it was buggy. 2016, sorry, 2017, I worked on Savient 4.0 version, and we were like complaining all the time, and it was buggy. So 2007 end, they invested a lot of efforts on, and they released 12 versions of that. So 4.1, 4.2, like that it went. Currently it is current release is 5.5, and 2022 they are going to release 6 versions. So why I'm trying to say this, 2017 end they started, and if you see what is, I mean, how many years? It's almost 3.5 years, right? 3.5 years, a product like IDM product to get to 215 clients is not a normal thing. So if you see Oracle Identity Manager, they started like 2000, I mean 1999. They bought a Thor Accelerate company, and they are acquired and company, and they stamped it as Oracle Identity Manager, and they continuing their legacy. And so still, I think they hardly have 180 customers. I mean, maybe a bigger customers or bigger organizations. So, for example, if you have AT&T in US is equal to there is an insurance company, for example, you consider Mass Mutual. So it will be like 2-3 times bigger than that. So maybe the vast number of organization structure, the bigger clients maybe Oracle product has, but still if you see the number 210 clients is not they just attracting most of the industry, most of the organization to migrate to Savient. For example, if you see why we have to go with the Savient versus other products, right? SailPoint and Savient is going neck to neck. So I think it has got more clients as well, but I don't know the actual number with the Savient, how many clients they have implementation and how many going to that. So if you see that out of all the products, Savient has very low licensing cost. How it is possible? So for example, SailPoint, if you take SailPoint, I want to implement SailPoint in a client organization. I need to buy SailPoint Warfel. So SailPoint and see, most of the products are built using Java. So Oracle Identity Manager, it's a product to suit, they'll call. So you cannot get a single piece of that. There'll be something called RCU. You have to install WebLogic, and you have to configure Design Console. And so there is a lengthy process inside Oracle Identity Manager to set up your application. But Savient, SailPoint and all, it's a WAR files, Forgerock also. It's a web application archive file. You take that file and put it in a Java container, and you configure a database, and you're set. But if you see overall, right, I was quoting that SailPoint example. SailPoint, you take the WAR file and you buy license from them for the support. Number one. Number two, you have to buy application server. Could be a WebLogic, Tomcat, or JBoss. Buy that application server license and buy a database. So you have you have to buy again a database like Oracle database, SQL Server, MySQL, anything you want to buy, you can. I mean, your according to your choice, you have to buy that. So all you have to pay separate license, and again you have to install on a load balancer. So behind the load balancer, you have to deploy your application and configure that. So if you calculate all the cost versus Savient, Savient is built, Savient is deployed on a cloud. So if you ask AWS or Azure, so you'll be having a choice. So they will deploy on the server. Suppose you ask them to, I want 3 environments: development, pre-production, QA, and production. So 4 environment. It will be ready by tomorrow evening. So not even tomorrow evening. So you pay and you write the contract with them, and so by evening you will be able to set up that environment. So with the load balancer, because everything is on cloud. So it's like this. I mean, you can prepare a biryani. So you can buy rice, vegetable, all things, and you can cook at home with your own choice, and you can eat it, and you can order online biryani. So that's like that. So, but if you see that licensing cost, Savient is going way below. So, for example, if it is 85 lakhs, say, assume Oracle Entity Manager is 85 lakhs, I think it will come around 35 or 40 Savient. So, because they are using open source things like Tomcat and MySQL and Java microservices they are using inside that product. So that's again, it's not a casting, and so they built that. On top of that, they're deploying on the cloud. So it just plug and play and easy, and you will get a faster environment setup, and you can write contract with them for how long you want their support, and if you want any customization, that will be a different discussion. So I want some customization consultation, they will charge something and they will help you that. So that's the one of the biggest reason lot of companies, so 200 clients are moved last 3.5 years because of the licensing cost. So it's very less. So that's the reason this is going little ahead in the race. Shweta, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions so far we discussed?
If I can ask you one more question.
Mhm.
So right now, SailPoint will use a lot of Java for rules, workflows, etc. Right? So even for Savient also, do we need to know any programming language?
No, that is one more advantage with a Savient. So
So
they, yeah,
what about the customizations then? If like, how do
yeah,
they handle?
right. So that's a limitation in Savient. Um, you cannot do much customization, so there is very limited. That too, you have to seek Savient engineering support on that. That's one advantage and disadvantage. So uh, they'll say that whatever the product they built, right? So that's how it works. And if you want um, a core customization, still that's not. I mean, it's not straightforward. We have to work with them.
Okay.
So, and I would like to highlight that and the so any IDM product will do three features. So one is um, user lifecycle management, joiner, mover, lever. That's handles. And second, provisioning. I mean, that comes inside the provisioning only. And third thing is sorry. Second is reporting, and third important thing is identity governance. So identity governance modules are bought separately in the IDM space. So it's like that. So when you buy IBM Tivoli Identity Manager for provisioning and lifecycle management, it will be a cost. And if you buy, if you want a compliance, so compliance and governance module, this is become very popular in the I mean, in the industry or IM space. See, it's to govern who and all have access and what access they have, what they are doing with that access. So that's the significance and the core feature behind the compliance or governance. So Savient has very good at compliance implementation. So I mean, I would say that if you compare with other product, um, uh, the compliance modules are not so great. I mean, but if you see segregation of duties, uh, access review, that is also called certification, attestation in the different products, analytics, roles. So these and all comes under compliance module. So this is one of the reason Savient is like going more in the consumer space. I mean, more in the client, whoever want to whoever has that critical application, right? They want to adopt this Savient. At the first reason would be this: number one, low licensing cost; number two, compliance features are very good. Yeah, if you see Oracle Identity Manager, right? So it has got certification up to one level, and they have that certification process. But if you compare the reporting on the certification, reporting on assume I have a credit card system, Citibank credit card system. I have a team who manages the credit card numbers database system. I want to know how many employees have access, who has read only, and how many accessed non-business hours. There will be a protocol. If you have mission critical credit card, like financial application, you are not supposed to access application on Saturday, Sunday, or something like that. If I want to know all this information, right, it's very easy and straightforward in Savient. So to get that data, I mean, I can do the same in other products, but Savient has very flexible to get that data. So that's one of the features of Savient, which is making that um, ahead in the race. And I see you hardly see nowadays. I mean, like very few people are there in the market for Savient. Who knows that? It doesn't mean that Savient is there is a rocket science and nothing great. I mean, it's a great thing. Only thing is, it's not an open source. You can't, if you Google that, you don't even get anything related to Savient. So that's number one. So they are not showcasing any documentation outside of their customers or partners or employees. That's one reason. Second, I mean, there is no training available much in that. So there is something called L100, L200. Savient provides in Los Angeles. I talked to them. I talked to many people who took the training. It just L200 will talk about V6 version. So the version which is going to come next year. L100, they will talk about what is security system, what is endpoint, how analytics works on the high level. So it's a basic level. They will talk about. So you won't find a properly trained or understood Savient tool. So that's the reason you see always Savient resources are running short of the market. So if you go to LinkedIn and try to search Savient, you will see like 10 to around 10 pages of roles. That means maybe a 400 roles in US. I searched yesterday. It was like 380 to 400 roles were coming up. I mean, from beginner to architect or something like that. So, and also it's easy to learn. So there is no customization, and if you work 6 to 9 months, you can understand core of the Savient product. You will become expert. I mean, the difference is like how many connector, how many target system you integrated. You integrated Salesforce, Active Directory, REST connector, DocuSign, Okta. So that specific target related knowledge you may not have, but if you work 6 to 9 months, you will understand the product very easily, and you will understand all these things. And there is no customization. So if you go to SailPoint, you have to know Bean Shell. It's like a curtailed form of Java. So Bean Shell you have to write customization, and still you can. There's something called the plugins concept, so where you can implement Java. And if you go to Oracle Identity Manager, again you have to write Java programming. And for Jira, there is something different annotation kind of language you have to use. So here it is not there. That's a good, and sometimes it is a limitation also. I mean, sometimes we cannot make customization in Savient. For example, I want to send a approval reminder email in 10 days. Within the 10 days, if Saturday Sunday falls, then it will become 8 days, right? Still the reminder will go, and 2 days nobody will log in. If I want to skip that, so that if there is no such customization in Savient. If it is in other product, I can write a program and I can calculate using a calendar API and try to do that. So something like that. It's like chota minor kind of things are there. So that few people that will take as a advantage. I know a lot of business analysts, testers who converted to SailPoint implementation guys in my previous project. So they were like manual tester and they did little Selenium testing and they converted into Savient implementation guys, and so they are happy with their own path, because there is no, I mean, they don't like programming. But I asked them why you come here, you didn't like. So it's good, and there is not much complex programming inside. So that's the reason they come to here. And so that's about Savient. So any questions on this? You want to compare with any other product? I can tell if I worked on that. Yeah. I understood the silence as no. Let me go to next slide. Okay, let's understand the training hours breakup. How many hours we can understand the Savient modules? So we'll be having 24 to I mean 24 plus or minus 3-4 classes. I just put an average 24 to uh, um, uh, 24 classes will be there for core technical, and we will help you for resume preparation, and we will help you how a real project works, and we will also do the mock interview. So it will be like a 30 to 35 hours on an average. If the topic demands that more core explanation, then we will go beyond that and we'll try to cover that. So it will be like 30 to 35 hours is the course, and I think after 3 weeks, you can 3 weeks of training, you can start applying your jobs by the time it completes, and then your interview gets scheduled. So by the time we will be there, and so that I will recommend. If someone says that we are losing many opportunities, then I will say, be there for 3 weeks and just understand the product, observe corely, and then you can start and applying for the job. So I want anyone to understand basics strong and understand the concepts, basic 3 weeks concepts, all these things. And then even though if it is not Savient, you go to another product also, same provisioning, reconciliation, job, rules, roles, that will be there with a different meaning and a different additional features. It's like, you know, the driving in India and you come to US, and you just understand that other US related rules and drive here. So that's our motto behind the classes. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, now I leave room for you guys to shoot any questions. Can be technical, non-technical, and anything. So there'll be a dumb answer, but there'll be no dumb question. So every question is valid. Yeah, please go ahead.
As you said, it's on cloud. So do we have access for the current version? Like, what was it, 5.3? Like, is it possible to show the demo on the 5.3? Like, you have access, or how is the access going to be?
Access, no, I mean, they will not sell for trainings and all. So first of
Okay.
so we have the same Savient 5.5 version. We have set up in the local environment. It's not in the cloud.
Okay.
I mean, you still
Okay.
the same. You still see the same, but I can show you any of my clients' environment just to get a
Okay.
glance the difference. Yeah.
Okay. So is the GUI different, or what is the major difference? Is just the software version, or the
Nothing.
GUI? Nothing. Okay. It's
Nothing.
very
So
okay.
it will be like, say, in my the the one which we are trying, we are going to try, and you people are going to access in our training will be goes with localhost and
Okay.
8080/ECM. And but if you go to a client mission, it will be, if it is Azure, Azure US EAT, the host name /ECM. That only the difference. The UI, everything remains the same.
Okay. And I heard even Savient has PAM module inbuilt, or is it not the case?
It is there, but one, to be honest, I didn't explore that. I just attended one training on that. But in our current client, CyberArk is penetrated so much that I mean, people are scaring to migrate that out of that. So we have like huge privileged user data, the current client which I'm working,
Yeah.
and they don't want to. I mean, they are offering that, they are showing the revenue. We had a sales meeting, they said that if you use CyberArk, this is the yearly revenue cost you are, if you use Savient. And also it came like last year only. So and
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's a very new addition, but
right,
eventually it should
yeah,
catch up.
people are not stepping on that because
Yeah.
yeah, someone, if some bigger client does that and give the success story, they showed me that also success story. But we have like most of the critical SAP servers, all server access is managed with the CyberArk. And they said we have a plan, but that's starting on next year mid, that plan. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So currently, Savient does do integration with all the leading cloud products, right? Like
Right,
Office
right.
365 and
Yeah.
Azure,
Azure,
GCP.
AWS.
So how
Yeah,
much
yeah.
customization do we need to do, like to do all that? Is it out of the box, or is it you need to customize or do the nitty-gritties?
Customization. I mean, we discussed, right. So
Okay.
what you do is you will be having a trusted system and HR system, SAP, Workday, or
Workday,
your,
yeah,
yeah,
ServiceNow.
your service now. I don't think it's a trusted system. So your data will be created on. I mean, when you join an organization, first you meet HR, and HR will take, she will fill up all your data in a Workday or SAP HR or
Yeah.
success factors, though, and then your trusted source information will be ready, and that will flow down to Savient. And Savient, based on the rules and policies, you will be given access to Azure, AWS, Office 365. So you will get access, and target system you're going to access. But customization related to attributes and those things can be possible in Savient. But if you want a core functionality to, I quoted that example reminder, if I want to suppress the weekends, right, those kind of things we cannot do. But other than all customization, integration related to customization, we can do. So if it is not
O-
there, nobody will come to Savient.
Okay. So what is the biggest change coming in 6.0? What is a big bang? What are they introducing?
They are saying that UI is going to completely going to change, and in Savient there is something called elastic search concept. So it's like
Okay, big data.
so if you have a huge data, and Elasticsearch is going to make the performance good. It is there in 5.5 also, but they said they just put it in
Enhanced.
very enhanced in that product. And
Okay.
also some job controlling features, and some, if you see in the Savient UI, that other last 2 years whoever raised some bigger performance issues or technical challenges, right, they said they are implementing that. So they
Okay.
uh, but I just heard the training. It was like they were very high level talking about compliance part, and I yet to explore that 6 point version.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
So you'll confidently say that any non-technical person can learn this tool and take it forward?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, debugging, maybe little, you may see little challenges. I mean, to check the logs and to relate that. And if you know little bit JSON, and JSON is, right, JavaScript object
Uh-huh.
notation. If you know
Uh-huh.
little bit syntax JSON formats, and then you'll be good. So we do most of the configuration with the JSON, and that's the scripting notation we use. And if it is something wrong, and you'll be able to find in the logs. That is also straightforward, and it will be easy. So you'll come to know maybe one or two, three classes if you see how we do that, and things like that.
Okay, so it's good to learn a little bit of JSON.
Yeah, you don't require. I mean, I can explain that in the class, because
Okay. Okay.
how array represent our, yeah.
Okay, so we will have some exercises to follow along, like after every daily class.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah,
Is that
you'll be having a material, and
to
with the
follow?
lab.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Is there any fees that we have to pay for the training to go ahead from here?
Not for today. I think you can check with the Gautam. This is a demo class, right? So it's just
Right.
a shopping.
That's what for the next thing I was
Yeah,
mentioning about it.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
I have one other question.
sure.
See, for
Sure.
example, in interviews and all, I mean, the reason
Uh-huh.
I'm asking this, the
Mm-hmm.
reason I'm asking so many of these questions is, as you quoted an earlier example, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
complete manual QA person for over 10 years. And then
Mm-hmm.
last year I moved to SailPoint.
Mm-hmm.
I successfully finished 1 year of working in SailPoint, but there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stressful days with all those Java programming. So that
Okay.
is the reason I want to, move on to Savian now that I know all the concepts.
Right. Yeah.
Not
So I
that I
think
know
you.
everything, but at least I'm little familiar. So
Yeah.
uh, that is the reason I'm asking. So when it comes to interviews, like right
Uh-huh.
now, if it is SailPoint interview, they ask 70% of it is completely SailPoint stuff, but there are always 30% of like Java questions. Uh, they go in and explore Java. So when it comes to Savient, is it always Savient and the IAM concepts? Is that how it is, or can we expect any programming side, or
No. So Savient, if you ask a programming, you can ask him. This interview is for Savient or other product. So, so nobody will ask programming, because uh, see, there is like 5% chances your application needs some programming. That will be like, you have to work with this guy's Savient engineering team, and you
Mhm.
integrate that. But 95%, I will say 98%, nobody will use a programming language or a
Okay.
scripting to do that. I mean, except JSON. So our configuration looks like a JSON. I mean, you write your, for example, you
Uh-huh.
integrate with Active Directory. You mention a host name, port number, username, password. That you put it in a JSON, and map there. So that only you use here. Other than that, it's like core domain kind of thing. So how to configure a report, or how to create a security system, and what is a dynamic attribute, and what is role entitlement, how you going to map that. And
Mhm.
so these kind of, how did you integrate any application, have you done any integration with REST connector.
Mm.
So these kind of
Okay.
questions, integration related, they'll ask. That's for integration part. Second is compliance. Did you configure any certification, manager certification,
Mhm.
role owner certification, and if you revoke that, a bulk revoke, how you do. So it's related to the Savient only. So programming languages, most of the guys will, I mean, nobody will ask, unless until you can tell Savient was not able to achieve some functionality with the critical feature of our other IAM product. So I worked with some file processing, or some reading some data, and managing something. So because
Okay.
everything is, I mean, Savient Savient objects are you can retrieve with the REST API. Savient is released their own REST API. So you can write a REST call and get the data. So you don't require write any program to get that. So that's on top of that, you have a database, so you can still query the data. I mean, that's a bad way. I mean, it will be a last way to get the data from database, because REST API UI you are anyhow you are going to get that. So that should be. I mean, that's not a problem. So only thing is just like approach wise, or people will test your saving knowledge based on the scenarios and how you tried this, how you have done the integration, or anything best practices, how you tried. So those kind of questions they'll ask. See, if I get into your sale point, right, I can bombard you like plugin implementation with the Java. Every rules are configured with the bean shell, so I can ask account object, rule object, how you iterate workflows. I think there are I mean uh, so I'm not criticizing Savient, but there are some limitations in Savient as well, where SailPoint can do something and Savient cannot do those kind of customization. So but if you come to Savient, you take that as an advantage. We don't require to stress on much programming or other customization features.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
So
Okay, thank you, man.
if we like to join, where I mean, I don't know if it's a question to you or Gautam, but when will the batch start?
Gautam will let you know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think if you don't have any questions, thanks for your time and thanks for joining, and have a wonderful night or day. Uh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.